Hey guys, this is Shubho back with another Photoshop tutorial, and this time we are gonna do the split toning effect. So you want the shadows to look a different color and your highlights to look a different color, and I'll teach you how to do that today. And remember, if you like the video, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down. Please guys, it helps the channel out a lot. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and comment down below on what you think. If you have any suggestions, if you have any corrections to make regarding whatever I say, so please leave a comment. And with that out of the way, let's go to the monitor. So we are here on our screen and we have two images open as usual. This is the first image, this is the second image. This is not my image. I'll leave a link down in the description for the person who took it. Make sure you give him or her a follow on Instagram. So that's it. This is not my photo. This is my photo. This is my friend. So let's begin without any ado. So first things first, as a part of a good etiquette, we are going to duplicate this layer. So let's duplicate the layer. Control J or Command J if you are on a Mac. Now with this layer duplicated, we are going to go right click on this blank area. I'm doing it again so you notice this is the right click on the blank area. We're going to go convert to smart object. Once you have done that, you see this little icon that says you that it's a smart object. We're going to go to filter, smart filter, camera raw filter. Yes, Control Shift A, camera raw filter, and this dialog box is going to open up. Once you do that, you're going to go to the color grading section. You click that up and you have three wheels, and this is basically how you do split toning. In versions before this, up until Photoshop 2020, you actually had a separate tab for split toning. Now you don't. So now this is how you do it. Now what you do is you work with the shadows and the highlights wheel. So you're gonna take the shadows, let's say we take it to teal. I'm gonna take the highlights, take it to yellow, and you kind of see where this is going, but it's not really the look we're going for. So we're gonna go and we're gonna increase the shadows so it mixes more with the highlights. Okay, so you're gonna bring the shadows up a little and we're gonna bring the highlights down a little. What this does is this takes extreme highlights or the whites and the extreme dark or the blacks, and it puts the color on them. So even the extreme dark and the white areas are affected by these colors, but this is still a bit too dark. So we're going to go to blending, and this affects how harsh the lines are. So we'll have to play with that and see what goes exactly with this image. This varies from image to image. Sometimes a very harsh line would go with the image that looks good on the image. Let's see what goes with this one. So we're going to move the blending down, and okay, no, maybe over here. Okay, and we're going to move the balance. This basically tells us if we want the shadow color more or the highlight color more, the influence of the shadows more or the influence of the highlights more. So this image we're going to go for the highlights because it's mostly a daytime image. We don't want the shadows more. So we're going to go towards the highlights and we'll stop over here. This looks okay. Okay, you still have the blue effect on it, but the yellows looks a bit too saturated, and this is where we come to these three circles. This is the shadows, and we're gonna, as you can see, the saturation is 100. We're gonna bring that down. I'm gonna go to the highlights. We're gonna bring that down, and now it looks good. So we can go to the mid-tones and maybe add a little bit of yellow, but then it takes the blue away completely, and if we add a little bit of cyan, it's making it okay. I think this looks good, or you can just leave it in the middle. The way you do that is just, you can take this thing anywhere and you can just double click on the wheel and it goes back to normal. So that's a trick. and the blending and balance part I already showed you. And then we have this part. This is called the global. Now what global does is, this thing applies a color on all over the image. Till now we were applying colors to the shadows, highlights and midtones of an image. This global wheel will actually add a filter. It's like a, putting a colored film over something, and it basically puts that color on all of the image. So let's do that. If we make it blue, it's gonna be blue or yellow all over, or green. As you can see, it's just affecting the color all over. It's not just the shadows or just the highlights. It's just going for a all over look. I think you can see that. Let's keep it here. Let's move it down a bit, because yeah, I think this will do. This looks good in this way. And if this looks a bit warm to you, you can always go back and like change the colors that you have. Maybe you want the global to remain this, or maybe you want the shadow blue to just decrease the saturation a bit more. This will entirely depend on what that particular image is demanding out of you. You can't just have like number thing that okay, move the shadows to 50 or the hues to 100. You can't do that. This will depend on image to image basis. This is not maths. 2 plus 2 does not always make 4. It means 2 plus 2 makes 4. This, you can't have a particular mathematical expression like this will work, this will not work. It varies from image to image, so keep that in mind. Hit OK and you have it. The next image, again, this is not by me, I found it on Unsplash. I'll link the original creator, the person who took this photo, so make sure you go ahead and support her or him. And first things first, we're going to duplicate this layer. So Control J, and this layer is duplicated. So now we are going to go to the camera raw filter, but this time we are going to just do the shortcut Shift Control A, because it's too much, going to filter, camera raw filter. Just going to do that. And now again with the same thing, we are going to move the shadows to the blues, and we're going to move the highlights to the yellows, and you can kind of see where this is going. Yes, this I like this look. Okay, so just a little bit of cyan or blue to the edge. And noticed I did a mistake. The mistake I made was I did not convert this into a smart object. And what happens now is, if I want to change it, if I go again to filter and camera raw filter, and this dialog box opens up, and all the changes I made is no longer here. So if you want to tweak it, it's going to apply a filter on this. So never do that. We're going to hit cancel, we're going to hit Control Z, and this is the layer. First things we're going to do is we're going to click in this blank area, right click on this blank area, we're going to convert to smart object, and then we are going to apply the camera raw filter, which is Shift Control A. And now you have it. Now any changes you make here remains fully editable. Remember, once you make a smart object and then you add a filter and make any changes on it, whatever changes you are making remains fully editable, and the image is not directly affected by it. And this is why you use smart object to go back and edit it again if you want, and also to keep the image safe. You don't want to do anything to the actual image. This is the first thing that I've been telling all of you from the day one, is always duplicate layers and convert to smart objects. So we're going to go here, I'm going to click this, I'm going to take the shadows to the blues, maybe bring the saturation down a little, take the highlights to the yellows, and maybe bring the saturation down a little. I like this look. Let's play with the blending and balance. Let's go with the more yellow look. You can go with this or you can go with this. I think this looks better. I just think this looks better. We're gonna bring the shadows up a little. Yeah, I just think this looks way better, way better. And let's keep the midtones to 0. We're not going to disturb that. Again, if I put any color in the global panel, which is this one, so this is the highlights, this is the midtone, this is the shadows, and this is the global. Once you go to global, any color that you apply, as you can see, is going to be applied all over the image. It doesn't matter whether, you know, it's the highlights or the shadows or anything. It's going to apply everywhere. So keep that in mind, and that's it. So we're going to hit OK, and as you can see, both in the terms of this image and in the terms of this image, this filter, camera raw filter, once you go back in, and you can see, unlike last time, we have all our corrections here. The shadows are where I placed them before, the highlights are where I placed them before, the sliders are on the same place that I left them. So this is why you want to convert your image to a smart object and edit it afterwards with the camera raw filter. With that being said, this was the tutorial for today. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment down in the video. Thank you. Have a great day.